The Cache River National Wildlife Refuge near Brinkley is all part of a huge area known as the Big Woods, and it's in this general area where the ivory-bill woodpecker was spotted. Now, if we see him today, that's great, but our interest on this first segment is what I like to call one of the wonders of Arkansas, the 1,000-plus-year-old cypress trees here along Bayou DeView. And then we'll take you mountain biking to one of the most popular trails in the Ouachitas, the Womble Trail near Mount Ida. And then we'll wrap it all up with a sunset swamp tour at Lake Chicot State Park near Lake Village. So for now, let's hit the bayou to the Big Woods. Videographer Michael Middleton and I teamed up with Jay Herod and Alan Mueller with the Nature Conservancy. It's hard to imagine, but at one time, most of the Mississippi Delta region in Arkansas looked like this. Today, less than 10% of the state's original 8 million acres of forested wetlands remain. During the last 200 years or so, the fertile land, little by little, was transformed into agriculture cash-producing fields. The 550,000 acres that remain, called the Big Woods of Arkansas, have become a national treasure. This area is among the largest blocks of remaining bottomland hardwood forests in the nation. And it's where you can find those granddaddy 130-foot-tall cypress trees.
You say, well, size is not always a good way to tell how old a tree is because there's different growing conditions. That's a really nice big cypress. I can't tell you it's 800 years old, but it's probably at least 400 years old. So this tree was probably growing when Columbus was crossing the ocean.
And that's something.
That's something.
Even though this area was logged in previous years, Alan Mueller explained to us how the giant cypress trees managed not to get the axe.
Well, this area was probably harvested last about 80 years ago, as near as we can figure out, because most of the tupelo trees are about that age here. And at the same time, of course, they were cutting the cypress trees, because then as now, that's very valuable, durable wood that lasts a long time. But the really large 400, 600, 800-year-old cypress trees that are left were left because they were somehow defective. Most of the time they were hollow, so they just didn't make good boards. And so we now have these really magnificent trees that stick out way above the canopy. You can't see it well from here, but when you get a perspective from the side, these big cypress stick out way up above the other trees and really gives you an impression of how magnificent they are.
And you said probably they've been struck more than once by lightning.
Yeah, if they only get struck by lightning once every 50 years, and you're 400 or 600 years old, you've been hit with lightning a few times. And once every 50 years is not very often. So you can see fire scars on almost all of these big cypress trees. And that also helps stress the trees and kill some limbs on the trees also, which makes it good for woodpeckers again. So everything fits together. It is in fact a system that we're looking at protecting.
I guess with this area in the Dagmar Wildlife Management Area and the White River National Wildlife, I mean, it's very unique areas that are left in the entire country.
Yeah, this is a very special area. 200,000 or 300,000 acres of bottomland hardwood that's been protected primarily through the contributions of the hunters that have been buying licenses, duck stamps, and all the other taxes that they pay on the hunting equipment and the ammunition. This stuff has all contributed directly to protecting this marvelous ecosystem that we have here right now. Both the federal lands and the state lands have been funded primarily through the hunters' contribution. And all of this conservation effort was going on way before the ivory-billed woodpecker came in, because this area is really important for so many things besides just this one bird. All of the other wildlife in here, deer, of course, all of the other birds, squirrels, everything else. There's also all the other values that go along with wetlands. They really help improve water quality in an area. After the water runs through this system, it comes out a lot cleaner than it went in. That's really important. aspect, especially in the Delta where there's such intensive agriculture, that we want to do everything we can to help improve water quality. And also, systems like this contribute to groundwater recharge, which is very important. And we get the groundwater constantly replenished because it's being used so heavily for all kinds of purposes, both municipal water supply and agricultural irrigation. So this whole system that we've now had protected is valuable in many, many ways.
Considering what this area has to offer, it's no wonder why the ivory-billed woodpecker chose the big woods as home.
I said this little opening on Bayou DeView is the spot where Gene Sparling first saw the woodpecker in February of 2004. We're only less than half a mile below the bridge, and the ivory-billed woodpecker showed up, flew towards him, landed on a tree, and took off again. Remarkable event by a guy who was totally not expecting it.
The Nature Conservancy's motto has always been to save the last great places on Earth, and that's certainly the case here.
This forest is getting older and older and older. We sort of went through a phase where all the forest was cut, had nothing left but young forest. Now the forest is aging again and becoming more suitable every year for ivory-billed woodpecker, so conditions are really improving.
Mueller says this entire area along Bayou DeView is in fact a haven for a wide variety of woodpeckers.
Yeah, one thing that the people who were studying ivory-billed woodpeckers in the 1940s discovered was that the ivory-bills occurred in a place where there were most of other kinds of woodpeckers. And right here is an excellent location for many different kinds of woodpeckers. The pileated is the other large one that is easily confused with the ivory-billed. We've got a number of other species in there also, red-bellied woodpeckers, and hairy woodpeckers, and downy woodpeckers. And they all like this same area because there's large trees and lots of decayed or stressed trees where there's lots of insect food for them to eat on. So it's an excellent place for woodpeckers of all kinds.
So whether you're trying to catch a glimpse of the ivory-billed woodpecker or to check out the ancient cypress trees, a float trip down Bayou DeView near Brinkley is a worthwhile venture at any time. Explore the Big Woods National Treasure for yourself. North of Mount Ida, just west of Lake Ouachita, in the Ouachita National Forest, is a mountain biker's paradise, the Womble Trail. It extends some 37.5 miles. Now, of course, we're not going to travel the entire distance today, but enough to show you what the trail is all about, especially with the bluffs overlooking the Ouachita River. Unlike the popular Salamo Trail near Mountain View, the Womble Trail has been around way before mountain biking really fully entered the scene.
The Womble Trail was built in the early 1970s and actually constructed by the Green Thumb program.
What is that?
That's a program that was run through the county, and most of the individuals that worked on the trail were actually between 50 and 70 years old. And they worked out here in trail crews, using hand tools, digging the trail. And over the course of the last 20, 30 years, it's really evolved into a real popular mountain bike destination. It is well known for the single track, which is the narrow treadway that really brings mountain bikers in here to this long 38-mile trail.
And you have races here periodically?
We do. Annually, there are about 2 races a year. And just 2 weeks ago, we had a race that had 165 participants. So I think that was the highest number we've had in a long time.
As we were riding around some of the sections, some of the parts are quite hairy, especially you got to be really careful on the bluff line.
Yeah, this part that we're on right here is the most difficult part of the trail. I'd rate this at the expert level. Other parts of the trail are more moderate to easy, suitable for family outings, gentle slopes. But like I say, when you get up here, you're rewarded with these beautiful views, but you got to earn it to get up here.
It's one of the best trails. It's the best trail in the state, and I've had the opportunity to ride trails out west in Utah, and it stacks. It ranks right up there at the top with some of those trails.
A lot, then.
That's right. Yeah, it's in 2002 it received an epic classification from IMBA, which is the International Mountain Biking Association.
Takes a little bit longer for us novices.
Where we are right now is one of the most difficult parts of the trail. I would say you need a good technical base before you try to come to the Womble, but it's got sections that are easy to extremely difficult.
You can't just buy a mountain bike one day and the next come on the trail and expect to do well, I guess.
No, I'd recommend riding somewhere a little bit safer before you try to tackle the Womble, but it's definitely rewarding.
What about some of the races that are held here?
The Arkansas Mountain Bike Championship Series, AMBCS, puts on races throughout the state, and the Womble is one of the best attended races that they put on. There was 165 participants this year, which was probably the highest we've had so far. And it's great. It's a lot of fun. It's a great community to be involved with. And we're always welcoming new racers.
Here he is.
At the beginning of the trail, which most people consider the South Fork Lake the beginning of the trail, it's easier over in that section. It's not as mountainous, it's flatter, it's more beginner friendly and everything. And when large groups come up here, the beginners can ride that part. Now when you get over in this part over here, you're getting more into the expert type. And so some of them can ride the beginner type, some of them can ride the expert type, and then if they're staying at the same campground, they can just meet there at night and talk about everything, get up the next morning and do their shuttling and go ride to their skill level.
Yeah, because you can go, 2-4 days, and to cover, that's what it takes to cover the entire trail, I guess, if you're camping out.
Yeah, you could do it that way. Now there's some people that can ride it in a day, but that's some pretty salty people. They're really good riders. But there's parts of it that hadn't been ridden very much either, because it is difficult, and it's even that much harder to ride because it's not as well kept. But the parts that really, I live 3/4 of a mile from the trail itself, over on the other end from where we are now, over on the easier part. And we keep that part up as well as we can because it's used quite a bit.
Well, tell us about the races here. They said about the Womble, and then
There's a race called the Ouachita Challenge in the spring. It's a 60-mile race, and they have a tour, which is just a ride type thing. They have it on Saturday, and then Sunday they have an actual race where you have people that are really racing to see how fast they can go on the trail. And it's 60 miles. They have aid stations along the way to support you and everything. But they have 300 people, a 300 people limit each day because the Forest Service is concerned about the wear and tear on the trail, so they limit it to 300 people. And it maxes out both days every year, and a lot of times they'll have 150 people on the waiting list wanting to come in case someone decides they're not going to. So it's very, very popular. It's in the spring when people are just beginning to get back into shape and starting to want to ride again. It's a whole lot of fun.
So for a whole lot of fun, grab a mountain bike and head out on the trail, the Womble Trail near Mount Ida. It's the largest oxbow lake in North America and the largest natural lake in Arkansas, Lake Chicot, way down in the southeast corner of the state, Mississippi Delta region. And the best way to experience this area is by taking a swamp tour. Lake Chicot wasn't always a lake, but was once a part of the Mississippi River.
Yeah, about 500 years ago was when Lake Chicot was formed. It is an oxbow lake off of the Mississippi River. And how oxbows form is when the river just decides to take a shorter path from one point to another. The sediment builds up over time and it separates the lake from the river, the main channel itself.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that this lake is actually the largest oxbow lake in North America.
It is.
Another interesting piece of history about Lake Chicot has to do with the flood of 1927.
And what it was in 1926, in the winter months, a lot of snow and rain melted off and caused gauges in the states lining the Mississippi River just to read off the charts all through those months. And in 1927, for 3 months, the city of Lake Village and the city of Greenville, Mississippi were flooded. And that flood in 1927 actually pushed Congress to make the Flood Control Act of 1928. And what that did is constructed the Mississippi River levee. The Mississippi River levee is actually longer than the Great Wall of China. It is the longest levee in the world.
There's also an interesting story about how Lake Chicot's swamp area was formed.
It's an old logging road, but a farmer who lived over there built his own personal levee. And with that, what he did is when he wanted to, he would flood his rice paddies and then he'd shut it off as he wanted to. And pretty soon the lake just took over. So now it's a nice little road for boats. A lot of people fish back there.
Lake Chicot is one of the most popular fishing and recreational lakes in the entire Mid-South.
It is, definitely, especially for sport fishing. We have bass, crappie, brim, bluegill, and of course catfish. I've seen, when I first got here, there was a 33-pound catfish someone caught. It was amazing to me.
Since Lake Chicot is located along the Mississippi Flyway, visitors have the opportunity to see a wide variety of birds, 287 species to be exact.
They can. About 60% of North America's birds actually use the Mississippi Flyway. It is a major migration route when the birds...
And year-round, too.
Year-round, it is. We do have a lot of resident birds that are here quite a bit.
Any eagles?
We do in the winter. We don't have any within the park boundaries, but on further down south on our lake, there is an eagle's nest that bald eagles can be seen in the winter months.
I heard stories about gators. I mean, you've seen one, you witnessed one.
I did witness one myself. This place, along with South Arkansas, is known to have alligators, and here what we call gravel pits. It's the perfect marshy areas that alligators love to be in. And we hear reports of them stealing fish from fishermen all the time, but until you truly see one out in the open water, you don't really believe there's gators in Arkansas.
And you saw one by your house, you said, with what?
By my house. I would say about 5 feet. I may be over-exaggerating and I may be undercutting it a little bit. He never brought his tail up to show us, but he was out. Many people around here said it was odd to see him in the open water.
There is one more story about Lake Chicot, and it has to do with river pirates and Whiskey Chute.
Well, back in 1835 to 1855, there was a band of river pirates that went up and down the Mississippi River, pirating boats, robbing banks, and stealing and reselling slaves. And in 1855, they pirated a boat that contained whiskey. And with that whiskey, they went to their hideout, Stewart Island, along with the boat, and got drunk and passed out. And the local citizens of Lake Village and the surrounding area were tired of getting everything stolen. They were just tired of the pirates altogether. So they got a bunch together. They went out. They snuck up on the pirates when they were drunk, of course, and they burnt the boat and sunk it to the ground. And to this day, the area near Lake Chicot is called Whiskey Chute.
If you do visit Lake Chicot, by all means take in a sunset. So experience for yourself the Mississippi Delta and all the wildlife that goes with it by taking one of the Sunset Swamp Tours here at Lake Chicot State Park. Or try your legs at mountain biking on one of the South's most popular trails, the Womble Trail in the Ouachitas. And then venture onto Bayou DeView in the big woods of Arkansas and see for yourself those 800 to 1200-year-old cypress trees. You will truly be amazed. And for more info on these and other destinations, visit our website, aetn.org/exploringarkansas. And we'll see you again the next time for another exciting adventure on Exploring Arkansas.